Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Science Society podcast. I'm Napong and this is G, and we're back with another topic, and it's about the science of cuteness.
So, Napong, have you ever seen a cute thing and you want to squeeze it or even obsessed with it?
Yes, that happens all the time.
That's right. You might think that cuteness might not that powerful and might be for children only, but it actually affects everyone. I haven't felt that powerful after I watched these movies. Have you ever seen Minions before?
Yes, I have.
Yes, one Agnes, the little sister, said to the unicorn at the carnival, like, "It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die." It's actually the same feelings as me when I went to the department store at the toy shelf and I begged my fathers to buy it for me. And yeah, that's really the same one. So, do you have another examples of the cuteness?
Another example, and I think everyone can agree to this, is when you see a cute puppy, you want to pet its fur, kiss its neck, kiss its head, but you also feel the urge to squeeze it, maybe even bite it sometimes. I wonder what this feeling is called.
It's called cute aggressions. It's a psychological term. Do you have any more descriptions about cute aggressions?
So, if I'm understanding correctly, it's basically the urge to squeeze or bite cute animals or even babies, but you don't actually have any desire to cause them any harm.
Yeah, that's right. About how adults have those thoughts sometimes, said by Catherine, the psychologist from Universities of California. And cute aggressions was first described by researchers at Yale University several years ago. But as Catherine is an acute aggression herself, she wanted to know more about what it looks like in the brain. So she and her colleagues recorded the electrical activities in the brains of 54 young adults as they look at the image of animals and people. The images included both grown-up and babies. Some had been manipulated to look less appealing. Others were made to look extra adorable, meaning something like big cheeks, big eyes, small noses, plump cheeks, and short lips. All these features known as baby schemas, which is associated with cuteness, and we can find this in the babies. The study found that for the entire group of participants, cutest creatures were associated with greatest activities in brain areas. It's not just it's not just rewarded and it's not just emotions too. Both systems in the brain are involved in this experience of cute aggressions. The combinations can be overwhelming. And scientists suspect that why the brain starts producing aggressive thoughts. The idea is that the experience of these negative emotions help people get control of the positive one running amok.
Oh, that's actually very interesting. So, both
Yes.
negative and positive emotions are running at the same time to control each one.
Yeah.
Right. I actually noticed something like how corporate entities use cute advertisement pictures to sell their products better. Like it actually happens to me also. Like I'm usually attracted to products which have more cute
Yeah.
pictures on them.
I ignore the product and buy it because the packagings all the times.
Well, this is actually proven in a 2009 study that participants performed better in a game when they were shown cute pictures beforehand. Another thing research shows is that people tend to use recycling bins more when they have a cute picture on them.
Yeah. Some example is something like Disneyland. They made a lot of cute bins around the park, right? So normally we are not just really into the bin that much, right? But when we saw the Mickey Mouse bins, a lot of mini cute bins, we might tend to look at it more and care about the trash more.
Another interesting thing is actually about cars. This doesn't only apply to products but also cars. You know the car Aura Good Cat?
Yes. It's very popular with the girl because it looks so cute. We are just ignore the mechanical terms and just really into its cute appearance. Yes, so cute. I could say that.
Another theory is that cute things make us actually want to nurture it more. You notice how human babies are unable to take care of themselves? It's actually hypothesized that these infants are favored by evolution to be more cute, so we tend to take care of them more. In fact, the appearance of some animals are also changing through domestication. We actually call this domestication syndrome. You notice how some big and scary animals like wolves hundreds of centuries years ago are now cute animals like puppies.
Yes, that's true. And another theory has said that these physical changes are regulated by embryonic structures called the neural crest. It's how to determine how some developing embryo cells are delaying or stopping. The arrival of these cells in some part of the bodies would result in the underdevelopment of pituitary and adrenal glands like floppy ears, shorter snout, and small jaws. And it also have another interesting idea that even human, we also domesticate ourselves when we compare our features with the ancestors. We can see that we are shorter, have a rounded head, and yeah, we change a lot from our ancestors. So, are you a cat slave, Nicole?
Yes, I am. I love cats so much.
Do we have any descriptions about why we love cats?
Well, guess what? It's actually due to a disease called toxoplasmosis. It's caused by Toxoplasma gondii, which I will get to later. Actually, the thing with this disease is one third of the human population actually have it. You might have it. I probably have it.
Me
But we
too.
don't know because the symptoms are basically just mild flu and just a slight fever. These toxos, they live in our brain and they even meddle with our behaviors. The parasites can actually multiply in any host, but they're only produced actually through the intestine of cats. And the offsprings of these parasites are called oocysts. And these oocysts are actually the scary things which we should be avoiding. They are spread through the cat's feces or cat's litter box, and a single cat can actually produce up to 100 million of these oocysts. Now, what actually happens to these oocysts? Well, fun fact, rodents are actually attracted to feline urine, so go, they tend to gravitate towards these litter boxes more often, and they tend to eat the cat's feces. So, throughout this process, the oocyst actually enters the rodent's body and then mature to become tissue cysts. Now, what happens to these tissue cysts? Well, if it stays inside the rodents, nothing actually happens because they're not dangerous to anyone. But the scary thing is, if a cat ever eats the rodent, then these tissues is multiply inside the cat's body, and it produces even more and more oocysts, hence a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen the cat is rodent. Have you ever seen that?
Well, normally rats would just avoid cats, right?
Yeah, we just avoid it.
But the disease, the Toxoplasma parasites, have a solution for this. The parasites invade the white blood cell of the rodents once it enters the body, and it hitch a ride all the way to the rodent's brain. And it basically what it does is it gets rid of the fear of predatory animals, which ends up making the rodents more reckless and basically lower their reaction times. Hence why they get caught by cats very often.
Really? Actually, what about if all of these things go to a human?
Well, you may be wondering how we have it, because I
Yes.
explained that rodents get it through a cat species,
Yeah.
and we usually don't mess with cat species.
I don't want to. You want to try?
No. So, well, there are many ways we can actually get it to. One way is contaminated water, another is unwashed fruits or vegetable, and the most scary one is raw meat of animals that have been through cat feces before. Another thing is you might not notice, but you should probably start being careful is if you let your kids play in sandboxes. Well, sandboxes are actually a very big host of these oocysts.
All of this thought have not confirmed yet. This might be one of the reasons as to why we love our cats. Since the toxins remove our fear of predatory feelings and turn them into an affections and love for the cute cats. Toxo thinkers with neurotransmitters, the chemical signals that modulate emotions. These lead to fatal attractions, which explain why feelings creatures are so adorable, right?
Right.
So you still got if you after you know all of these things, you still love cat.
Yes, I do.
You might invite it to these things. So yeah, that's it for today, and stay tuned for our next podcast. Thank you for your listening.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.